Well, if you followed Naruto up until this point, congratulations. It's finally getting good. Except for the first episode of this box set. Because, it's a filler episode. But not just any kind of filler episode. It's a recap episode. The one thing that even the most hardcore of anime nerds will tell you sucks beyond all reason. Why? Because it's wasting time by going over everything you already know or recapping the major events so far, and well, it's just bad all around. Fortunately enough, this episode in both language tracks never ever takes itself seriously, and it's more or less a joke episode. They're poking fun of themselves most of the time. Still, it's nonetheless insulting to the fans, as we should already know this stuff by now, and frankly, we just want to move on with the story. After that, we go into the second part of the Chunin exam, a survival exercise through a nice little place we call the Forest of Death. And they have to fight each other and what other horrors lurk in the forest to survive. While we get to see some of the capabilities of a number of the different characters during this story arc, the main focus is still on the main trio of Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. We also get a better look at the proctor Enko, who, while introduced during the last few minutes of the last season, gets fully fleshed out here. And while she may seem as spazzy and off the wall as Naruto, she's pretty much a little off her rocker and 100% probably with the deadliest ninja in the village next to Kakashi. In any case, after a couple bouts, we are introduced to the big bad of Naruto, Orochimaru, and his incredibly large reptiles, and how he really just psychologically and physically abuses Sasuke, to the point where Naruto not only has to knock some sense into him, he gets a badass moment by getting out his demon spirit. This in turn forces Sasuke to get his act together and have one of the best fight scenes in a shonen anime. This too starts off with the Cell Ninja, minions of Orochimaru, attacking Team 7 under orders to assassinate Sasuke. Now this probably wouldn't be too much of a problem, except Orochimaru had thoroughly thrashed Naruto and Sasuke, which pretty much leaves Sakura as their only defense, with all that implies. Fortunately enough, we finally see some character growth with her as she realizes that she's not up to snuff as a ninja, and that she has relied too much on the skills of her teammates, way too much. To push this point even further, we're having Rock Lee trying to rescue her, but even he's getting his butt handed to him, which is the final straw that breaks Sakura's back. And while this event does give us a chance to see a glimpse of what Shikamaru, Ino, and Choji can do, it isn't until we get a Deus Ex Machinima that the day is saved. The last little bit focuses on a glimpse of what Gaara of the Sand can do via taking out 3 guys a la Mortal Kombat finishers. The final disc finishes off with the team with Kabuto's help getting out of the Forest of Death and moving on to the next part of the exam. A preliminary tournament to wipe out of any more stragglers from the main event, the third exam, under the watchful eye of Gecko, a sickly looking ninja who is still in charge of them. After a brief explanation of what peace truly means to a ninja, explanation of what the No Hold Bars tournament is going to be like, we start off with Sasuke and a masked shinobi, and I'm not going to spoil it too much, but it leaves with a cliffhanger not in Sasuke's favor. On a technical standpoint, Naruto is steadily improving, although I do have to mention that some of the animation is still lacking in a couple areas, especially with the mouth movements. However, when it comes to the fight scenes, which make up 3/4 of box set 3, they go over the top and off the wall with them, so at least there they did a good job. And it's actually because of these fight scenes, I think the rating for this gets pushed up to PG-13 from PG, as it can be pretty intense, although still within the realms of the intended target audience of 12 to 15. And this is only matched by the level of maturity that it's trying to achieve with the rest of the content, and I'm rather happy to see that. The music, as usual, is very top-notch and has the right rhythm, the right mood, the right tenor to it. They either get you in a comedic mood, worried for your characters, or know that a badass moment is about to happen. With this new box set, we also get a new opening and closing. To start off with, we have Kung Fu Generation, which is kind of like the Japanese version of Weezer. And they do this happy-go-lucky opening theme called Haruka Kanata, or Far Away. And it just gets you right in the mood and pumped up for Naruto. The opening also showcases all the characters, and it has a mix of comedy and action, and it just fits with the show so very well. The closing, on the other hand, not so much. Done by the music duo known as Rhythm. Their song Harmony, well, I think it would have been better in a shoujo or girly girl oriented anime. Well, having it shows that the producers of Naruto realize they do have a female fan base, probably most of it due to the infamous kiss back in episode 3, and they are catering to them, but unfortunately it just doesn't really fit well with a shonen anime. I don't know, it just doesn't really click with me. So it's not a bad song, I just don't think it really works very well in this case. I'm probably not going to get any fans for this one, but sub versus dub, I'm going to have to give it to the dub in this case. The sub was okay, but I just felt the voice work was stronger in the dub. Some of the genin sounded like their voices were too deep to be young teenagers, and I really didn't like the sub voice for Kin. She just sounded way too cute to be a vicious badass as she is, and the English isn't much better, but it just sounded better. Although I have to say I loved her lines in the sub better. It's just I'm gonna have to go with the English voice in that one. Although Anko did a pretty good job in both language tracks, being portrayed as at one end ditzy and playful, on the other hand deadly serious. Characters at the moment are still pretty much more archetypes than they are fully fleshed out. And while this gives you several people to relate to, at the moment it's more or less a glimpse at what they're going to be like in the coming episodes. Although I have to say this, I have yet to find someone, including people who absolutely hate Naruto with the burning passion of 1,000 suns, who hate Shikamaru. If they have to love something about this, it's him. And you find out why in the next couple seasons. All said and done, I give this an 83 out of 100, about 10 points higher than season 1 and 2, making this worth a go look-see.